The city of Copenhagen is the leader. It intends to cancel out its greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2025. It wants to show other cities how they can fight climate change too. It was once a dirty industrial city, and now it is being on plan to be net carbon neutral. The majority of greenhouse gases which warm the planet are coming from cities, so it makes sense that a major city like Copenhagen can change its image in greenhouse gas emissions and become a potential solution instead of part of the problem. Copenhagen is home to 624,000 people. All of these people are dedicated to changing the way they behave, the way they're living, and they're willing to go green. It definitely helps that Copenhagen is small, rich, and its people care about the climate. Copenhagen plans to change how people get around, how they heat their homes, and what they do with the garbage they make. The city cut its emissions by 42% just by eliminating fossil fuels to generate heat and electricity. Transportation accounts for a third of the city's carbon footprint, but the national government would not impose restrictions on diesel guzzling vehicles. It actually went as far as lowering private car registration taxes. The government thinks its citizens will buy only zero-emission cars in the coming years. This is a big divide between the interests of the people living in the city and those who do not live there. Most politicians think it cannot be done by 2025 because people will not change the way they live. City officials claim they are just getting started. A new metro line, which will open this year, will put every city resident within 650 meters of a station. Bicycle paths are already 3 lanes wide on routes for 43% of city occupants. The windy days help to generate the city's electricity while buildings are being heated by burning garbage in new high-tech incinerators. Every building has 8 separate recycling bins. Some of the city's power plants have switched to wood pellets instead of burning coal. Wood pellets are carbon neutral if trees are planted in the spots of those that were cut down. This has helped the city lower its emissions significantly. Next, about garbage. The city built a $660 million incinerator, which has a year-round ski slope on it and is a short walk from one of the city's most popular restaurants. Every day, 300 trucks feed garbage into its furnace. Even though this has a carbon footprint, the trash is going to be heat for the city's cold winters and will not be in a landfill. It is so clean that a cafe is scheduled to open right next to the furnace. Copenhagen is also preparing for climate change. They see the rains becoming more intense and the sea rising in its most vulnerable neighborhoods. The city is building new parks and ponds for water to collect and not just run out. There are new dikes by the harbor, and they are planning to build a new island to block some storm surge. The people of Copenhagen are voters and are very concerned with the environment and climate change. The politicians who don't want to support these changes may be out of a job sooner than they think. Copenhagen used to have factories and narrow streets and ships in oil-stained harbors. The air used to be smoggy, and a lot of people moved to the suburbs to get fresh air. That was then. Copenhagen is not this anymore. A leader in searching for solutions to emissions and greenhouse gas output, along with climate change, is the new Copenhagen. People support it and are willing to change their lifestyles to make a better city. They want their city to be better than anywhere else in the world, or at least be an example of how a city can fight back against climate change.